Hey guys, it's Brandon1023 on 3reef.com. This is going to be my entry for the video contest number 2. I chose theme number 2. I'm going to give you a tour of my equipment and the role each piece plays. So first I'm going to give you a tour of the aquarium and all the inhabitants I have in there, and then we'll go through my equipment. Okay, so here's the aquarium. I'll zoom out a little bit here. We'll just go from left to right, since that's how we read. Starting with, let's see, Galaxia right there. Flowing. Got some zoanthids there, orange zoanthids. Got some button polyps, yellow polyps. I've got a hammer frag there. That one's pretty much doubled in size since I've had it. Green star mushrooms, some green zoanthids. And I've got, if I can find it on camera here, oh there they are. Some more button polyps, somebody fragged for me. And of course our highly prized Aptasia anemone, we all love those. Got the huge plate coral that I was given for free a couple weekends ago. Red mushrooms. Giant brain, or excuse me, bubble, there's the brain. The brain's actually pretty big too. But they've both grown a lot since I've had them. And the bubble, actually, you get up here a little bit, you can kind of see it wraps around the rocks now. It's actually back there. If you can see those little bubbles, it goes around the entire rock and out. The skeleton's pretty small, but it expands really huge. Frog spawn, again, this has gotten double in size since I've had it, because it was just one head, now it's two, and probably going to be three pretty soon. Yellow toadstool, or yeah, toadstool leather. Can't really see it, it's kind of getting washed out with the lights. What is that? That's a Kenya tree coral. I've got some green star polyps there. Got a nice little torch there. Again, can't really see it. It's kind of getting washed out with the lights, but it's doing really well. Here's my clam and a little starfish on the glass there. Here's the anemone that was sold to me for a grand $30. I value this thing probably about $250 at that size. It's huge. Here's a colt that I've fragged, and it's actually getting stung by that anemone. I'm going to have to tie that colt back so it can attach to the rock that's behind it, and then I'll cut it and it'll live happily up there instead. Another leather called a ridge leather, and there's my elephant ear mushroom. That one has gotten rid of 2 tomato clowns for me. It ate both of them. And I've got on this side of the tank a pile of frags. I had a big rock of green star polyps, and I just kind of took a hammer and screwdriver to that rock, cut it into a bunch of different pieces, and then I've got some button polyps here, and there's a colt somewhere in there. There is the clownfish. It's almost illegal to have a saltwater aquarium without a clownfish in it. My yellow tang is over there. He's doing well. He eats the algae that comes out of my refugium, which is a natural food source for him. I also feed him flake food that's got an algae base on it too. So he's doing really well. I've got a couple chromis damsels there. And my fairy wrasse swam back behind the rocks there. I've got a lionfish in there, a dwarf fuzzy lion, but I fed him earlier, and so he can't be bothered. Once he gets fed, he's done for the day. Otherwise he'll be out and about. So there's kind of a full shot of the aquarium. That's it. So now let's go through the equipment. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is go through each piece of my equipment and tell you what it's for. So we'll just go from top to bottom here, starting with the lights. That's my light fixture. It's Odysseus brand. They admittedly don't have the best reputation. When I was talking about them on 3Reef, there was a lot of talk about how their ballasts, here's the ballast down here, that thing, catch on fire. And you'll have to excuse Macaroni, he's helping me film the video. Anyways, yeah, there were reports of them catching on fire, but I've had this thing for almost 2 years now, as of June, so, and I haven't had any problems. It gets kind of hot, but I think it's pretty well ventilated down there. So anyways, it's a metal halide fixture. And let's see, we've got two 175 watt double-ended bulbs. If you look under there, you can see where the halides are. They are 20,000 Kelvin rating. And then I've also got two 65 watt power compact bulbs, and those are the longer ones there. So I prefer the 20,000 K because to me it makes the tank look a lot wider, a lot bluer. I had the 10,000 K and it made my tank just look jaundiced, and I didn't like it at all. I haven't tried 14,000 K, so I don't have any opinion on that. So the light plays pretty much almost the most important role, because what it does is it keeps the corals alive. Corals rely on sunlight out in the wild to survive because they have this symbiotic relationship with this organism called zooxanthellae. I think I said that right. And basically what happens is the zooxanthellae photosynthesizes with the sun, and its waste product is a sugar, and that's what the corals feed off of. So they have this organism living inside of them, and they feed off of the waste product of that organism, and then the organism gets a safe place to live. What I do, I'll show you back here, I've got my timers. Actually I've got my entire power system back here. Everything's labeled. There's one timer there, and there's the other timer there. And I have the power compacts come on at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then 3 hours later at 1 o'clock the metal halides come on. So that gives the fish and corals about 3 hours to wake up, and it simulates kind of a sun rising effect. Then the metal halides come on from 1 p.m. till 7 p.m., so that gives them 6 hours to photosynthesize. And then the power compacts go off again 3 hours later at 10 p.m. So there's a 12-hour total photo period, but there's only 6 hours of it that is the intense lighting. And that really helps with the algae problem. I don't have much of an algae problem, but that also has to do with the refugium, which we'll get to later. So that's what the lights do. They keep the corals alive, and the anemone and the clam. Those two are basically the same as corals. They're different, they're classified differently, but they do the same thing. So then we'll go down to the sump. First I'll show you, we've got the overflow here, and I've got kind of a pad there. It acts as a pre-filter, but it also acts as a dampener for the noise, because I don't know if you can see it here. All I have is a standpipe. There was when I bought this, there was a pipe that kind of went up and over and would like siphon it down into that pipe, but I didn't know really how to set that up. I didn't know how to start it. So the water overflows from the top into this chamber, goes down that pipe there. We come around to the bottom, and this pipe here is the one that goes down. It has a 45-degree elbow down into the sump. Here's a shot of the sump. And all it is a Rubbermaid container, and that's all a sump needs to be, nothing fancy. Just needs to be something that can hold extra water to give you more water volume. And the way I like to explain that as a benefit is the more water the better. If you're comparing a cup of ice versus a cup of water versus a sink full of water, which one are you going to be able to freeze quicker? So that's basically the explanation. So here's the sump. Also what it does is it houses a lot of equipment that you might not want in your display, such as my protein skimmer. I've got a heater down in there, you can't see it. And I've got the return pump. The return